Hey everyone, welcome back to the live stream. Tonight we're talking about designing your van to fit your appliances and gear. So whenever you're working on or you're getting ready to buy a van, do a DIY build, or you're even looking to not do a DIY and buy something that's already done, you want to know how that is going to affect how your stuff fits in your van. Also the stuff that you want to have put in your van, such as like the microwave, the refrigerator, even a cooler that's on maybe like a drawer, heavy-duty drawer slide in the back of your van. There's a lot of stuff you want in your van, some gear you want to bring with you on those camping trips and driving across the U.S. So in this video, we're going to start right off by looking at a drawing that I put together. So let me get my computer here. Yeah, we're going to kick it off. This is a drawing that I've put together. I was working on it today, and I had the idea of doing a live stream for you guys so I could walk through the ideas while they were fresh in my head. So this is how I do a proposal for a van build. So if you were coming to me and we were talking about all the stuff that we want to put in your van, by doing a simple sketch, nothing fancy in the computer because we may change it quite frequently, but a sketch just to see if what you want is possible with the allotted space that is a cargo van. So you have a limited amount of space, and to be able to fit all that stuff in there, you have to have a pretty tight plan going forward. Now, when you get in the initial stages of sketching it up, it can be pretty loose, but what I've done here is the requirements that we put together for the proposal. That is an isotherm 130 fridge, and we have like a Trillino toilet, composting toilet. We have some IKEA overhead storage. We have a particular microwave, particular bed height because of the ability to, not the ability, but the desire to have a bicycle or mountain bike storage underneath the bed. So when you have all of this stuff happening, you got to lock it in to see if it's even possible that those things will actually fit together. So it's kind of like a puzzle, kind of like playing with Legos, a little bit of both. So I'm going to start off by showing you my approach to this. And we're going to do a couple of screens here. I'm going to mainly talk to you about this on the drawing pad over here. So I'm going to be able to draw on this and show you how I sketched it out. And then I've got a camera over here on my desk, and I'm gonna hop over there really quick. We're not gonna use this as an example because I don't think the image is clear enough. But I wanted to show you that this right here is just a piece of grid paper. You can get it from like Michael's or something like that. So it's gridded paper. And this is a 17-inch by 22-inch with a 4x4 grid. So that's how big this is, and that's how the grid is. Now what I do is I take the 4x4 grid, and I will make the 4x4 grid represent a foot. So 12 inches. So if we go 2 blocks, we got 6 inches. We got 4 blocks, we got 12 inches. 1 block is 3 by 3 inches. And you can see that by doing that, we can do a kind of like an engineering view of a side view of our van. So this is the driver's seat. We have a little jump seat here. We've got a little stack with a microwave, the isotherm refrigerator, some storage area right here. We have our bed height at 36 inches for the mountain bike situation. We've got a mattress, 6-inch thick mattress, and the support member being 1.5 inches currently. And I'll explain why these are so precise here in just a second. There's also a request to have some overhead storage on the driver's side. And then what we do is we translate this and we come down. And this is kind of back in the day how you would do engineering drawings. It's still done today. They're mostly done on a computer. But as you can see, all we do is we just come down, and now we have an overhead view. So this is the overhead of the van. So in the front here, we've got the two seats. We've got a driver and a passenger seat. Now this is just a rough, approximation of this seat location. Once it gets past this dotted line, everything is to scale. So this one is to scale, and this one is to scale. These little bump outs are those pillars right behind where like the seat belts are mounted up on the van. And then what we've done is we've come back and we've stopped where this dotted line is because I like to work from the back of the van to the front. I've never had a situation where, kind of starting at the front, going to the back works, because the back doors, you want to have everything right up to those back doors, such as the bed, for example. And then have your datum point or your beginning point start from the back and go this way. So in this van proposal, we have the bed going north to south. So no need for doing bump outs or anything like that. The bed is going this direction. So they're either going to sleep with their heads up here, maybe feet down here, that sort of thing. But for this particular reason was to have this layout and bed position. So that's what we're doing. Now over here we have some overhead storage, and we have that coming off the wall about 15 inches. And this is so that we can accommodate these IKEA storage boxes. Now, this is not the end result of this whole entire project. I'm probably going to change this up. There'll be different suggestions during this whole process, but you need to start with something. So over here, we do want a shelf, but what are we going to do with this shelf? I mean, what products are we going to put here? Is it going to be IKEA? Is there going to be boxes from Target? So this can change. But what you need to do when you're starting to plan your van layout is just start with something. Get something that's fixed. And so my recommendation is the bed. Start with the bed. Now something could change. Let's say maybe you had a partition wall here for some reason. You had a crew van. Completely get it. It might change the layout. But for this video today, we're just going to start with the bed. So we know we want queen size bed. We know we want a minimum of 72 to 74 inches long for the length of the bed to accommodate sleeping north to south, which is your head over here and your feet right here. So the bed's there, but now how high do we want the bed? We know how far forward and back we can go. We're going all the way back, and then we got 72 inches here. We're doing, since we have this, next we need to position the bed at its height. So typically, depending on what bikes you have, but a good average is 36 inches, or a good starting point to accommodate mountain bikes is 36 inches. From the floor to the bottom of the bed. Once you have this fixed, that's your bed platform. Now everything here adds to itself. And we're going to go and draw, once I get into these numbers, we're going to start, which I guess I'm doing right now. I'm going to change and go to the computer. Let me see if there's anything else before I leave the desk here. So start with a piece of graph paper. Find out the dimensions of your products. For example, your fridge. This one, they like to have it actually elevated so it's easier to open and close. Provides storage down here, a spot for a microwave up here. So we have a microwave dimension. We've got for refrigerator dimension, storage. We have a composting toilet dimension here. We're putting it inside here, this jump seat, so that you can open it whenever you need to go, close it. It's nice and concealed. And then what we've done is we go across to the kitchen galley. We've got a Ravati sink, some work area right here. And then when I get on the computer, I'm going to explain to you how the dimension of a fridge, the door opening distance, minimum, and the width right here of the kitchen galley or the length and the width. I'm sorry, the depth and the length. How all this stuff plays in together. So let's hop on the computer and we're going to zoom into all these measurements, and I'm going to show you why it's critical to find out what you want or what you think is going to go in the van along with your gear to help you with your van layout. All right. So before we keep going, if you guys have any questions, we've got the chat open, and I'm ready to take any questions. It'd be great if it was on the topic of stuff you wanted to fit in your van, and maybe getting some questions to me on how you would like to do that, if you have any questions. But if you have other questions that are not related to the live stream tonight, it's completely cool. Put those in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. All right, so we're on the computer here, and we're going to hop on over to the drawing pad, and we're going to check out, get some coffee here. All right, we're going to look at where I started over there on the table. And let me move the camera. All right, so what we have here is, let's start in, what color do we want to start with? So I'm going to do this pink color, and this is going to show us stuff that we can't move, so stuff that's fixed. So the first dimension that we have fixed is we have our isotherm refrigerator. We have our microwave, the size of the microwave. We have the footprint for the Trillino composting toilet. We're going to do a dotted line here just to represent that the bed height is fixed. So it's something that we can't change, because one of the requirements is that we can fit a set of bikes underneath the garage. When we get to the kitchen galley over here, we'll talk about this. A fixed item is the Ravati sink. Get that a little bit more precise. The Ravati, the Trillino like we have in the other drawing, and then the isotherm. And in this case, on this drawing, we are concerned about the depth. So how far in the cabinet is the refrigerator? All right, so now that we have each one of these items identified and stuff that we want in the van, but we got to figure out where it's going to go. So since our bed is pretty much checked off, we've decided on a 6-inch mattress. So again, all of our numbers are starting to come together. We have 36 inches for the bikes. We got 6 inches for the mattress. Then we're going to have 1.5 inches for this subframe of the bed, what we need to hold the bed, but we need to give that a dimension so we know what it is. The reason that I'm putting all this in here is because the next thing you're going to ask yourself is, with all the cool stuff I'm putting in my van, can I still sit up in bed? So right now we have 33.5 inches. I only need 33 inches, I think, to be able to sit in the bed without my head touching the top, and I'm 6 feet tall. Everyone's different. But essentially you want to make sure that you're able to sit in the bed. It's like if this is you, you're hanging out in the bed, you want to make sure you can sit in there comfortably. And then before you know it, what you've done is you've defined where everything goes. So you've got this right here for the bike, you've got this section for your bed, and then you have this section for just being comfortable, being able to sit up in bed. So that takes care of our height. Now let's talk about our width of these items. So the first thing we're going to look at is this right here. So this one is your sleeping length. So if you want to sprawl out, you want to go head to toe and not be cramped, this number is what's important to you. So this one in this case is 72 inches, and that is based off of a bunch of different factors. So factor one is we have a fixed, we have a fridge width that is fixed. So that fridge width includes a number of things. It includes the support members on the left and right, the paneling, and the fridge itself. So once all that is put together, you're going to have a value right here. And I think that's like 20.9, for example, for the isotherm. So let's just call it 21, and then you got 1.5 inches on each side for support. So 24. So you got 24 inches right here for your width. So now we've got 72, we've got 24. The next thing we're going to do is we need to check out our jump seat. So I'm going to go and pull something off the internet really quick. Let's see if I can find it. And this is where you want to start to kind of play around with ergonomics. And in here, do you see I've circled it? We got 18 inches. So if I go to my computer, I want to type in standard seat height. And all of a sudden, you'll get a bunch of images and suggestions on, what is the ideal seat height. There's going to be all kinds of stuff from like dining room table, couch, chair, office chair, all that type of stuff. So what we want to do is we want to merge these kind of two worlds together. We want to merge like ergonomics versus with the products that we want in our van. So for example, let me just find this Trillino again. Not sponsored. It's just happens to be something that I think is what we may have to go with in this proposal, just because of the dimensions, use case, that sort of thing. But let's go ahead. Let's hop over here. Here's the Trillino. Very simple composting toilet. I never actually used this or tried this, but as far as I can see, it's very simple. The dimensions are pretty, I'm excited about them because they're a very clean square design, which lends itself to, and this happens to be the Evo L, 5.2 gallon capacity. Anyway, that's not what this is what we want. The width, depth, height, don't really care about weight. So we take these numbers, and then we take our ergonomic numbers. So for example, let's look at this chair. So this is a chair off of Walmart. We don't care that it's from Walmart. We want to look at these numbers. So let's start to see a theme. We got 18.5 inches, 18.5. We've got 17 3/8 for the depth. We've got a 23 inches for the back. Height off the ground is 18.5 inches. So kind of start making notes and checking this off. And then what you want to do is hop on over to your drawing and start plugging and chugging these numbers. So right here, we want to, let me do this in green. So right here, we want the Trillino is, let's see here. Trillino, get my camera working. What's it doing? 16.9. So Trillino is 16.9. This Walmart seat is 18.5. All right, so let's go back to our drawing. And right here, so look right here. We need to we have a third consideration. That is the sofa cushion thickness. So we've got 17.5 is what I came up with for the height, which will fit the Trillino in there. Nice half-inch piece of plywood will cover it. So we might, make these a little bit bigger, but you kind of get my point. So 17.5 is right here. And then we want 3 inches for the cushion for this jump seat, which will be hinged. And now that gives us a final seat height of 20.5 inches. And I know I'm kind of getting into the weeds on this, but it makes a difference. If you ever sat down on something where somebody did not give the calculations, you're at a friend's house and they made like a custom bench or something and it just doesn't feel comfortable to sit on because it's too high or too low. That's why these numbers matter. So what I did is, I typed in what is the max standard seat height. And for example, a dining chair is 18 to 23 inches. So we've got some room. So as long as it's not over 23 inches, it's probably not going to feel weird to sit down on. So when we come back over here and we look at our seat height, if we need a little bit more clearance for the Trillino, we could change that 17.5 to 18 and then bring our seat height with the cushion up to 21 inches. And then that is going to give us a standard seat height. So what about this direction? Well, we look at our Trillino, which is 13 inches wide. We add 3 inches for our, plywood, making the box and stuff like that. So we got 16. And then let's just give us a little bit more room to move around, 18 inches. And let's look and see if that will fit with our chair. So we'll go back over here to right here. So 18 inches. So check it out. This chair that you would buy is 18.5 inches. I'm sorry, 17 3/8. So call it 18. So we know that we're probably going to be comfortable just like a chair that we bought from the store. So that is the theory behind having these measurements to design something so it's comfortable. So once you do that, you'll know exactly how thick you can make your seat cushions so that when your friend, family come over and they're hanging out in your van, it feels like a seat and it doesn't feel like you made something to hide a toilet. It feels like a comfortable seat that just happens to have a hidden toilet inside. So that's the ergonomics there. And now we can move even forward, closer in the van, and we need to measure turned around. So this is the driver's seat of a Ford Transit, and it is to scale. So this box down here where you see this little angle, this whole thing is drawn to scale. So this dimension here, get back to blue. So we have this dimension. My pen's messing up. We've got this dimension here, and this is where we can't fix what this is going to be measured, but we can see if we need to change anything behind it. And so we found that this is 21 inches, And that's pretty good. It's almost 2 feet. So you can do one final check. So even though you can't do anything about it, here I'm going to show you one more thing that I've done on another van, which happens to be in my personal van. This is what I was doing when I was doing the layout for it. And you go standard restaurant booth size. And then we're going to go to, we got our images. And now we can click on this and check it out. So if you go to a restaurant, diner, something that has booths in it, maybe even Waffle House, you can see that this is 24 to 36 inches. Give me 1 second here, cut that off. Okay. So you can see it's 24 to 36 inches, so 24 would be the minimum. And that's okay. It's okay if it's a minimum, because we're in a van. So sometimes you have to make compromises, which is all right. But we're at 21 inches, it's not that bad. That is pretty good for the fact that we got the, let me come down here. So we got the bed length that we wanted. We've got the minimum distance to put our fridge in. We've got a comfortable seat that's appropriately sized. We do have 2 inches here that we can remove, but that would give us 23. So we'd be even closer to having a normal table experience or dinette experience. So that's the theory behind that. Now let's hop up here to the top left before we move to the next photo. So up here on the top left, we have, we've got these IKEA boxes. Let's do these in orange. So you can play around. You can maybe get some graph paper, cut out little pieces, almost like Legos, like puzzle pieces, and make things to scale, and then just start to kind of play around to see where things are going to fit in the van. So if we're looking at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 IKEA boxes. Again, this doesn't have to be IKEA. It can be anything. The reason that I'm talking about this is we need to start with a dimension to get things going. You can always go back and resize, because what's most important, and let's see here. All right, I'm going to change the orange because I'm going to use that for the most important. So let's just make this, purple. All right, so we got our IKEA boxes. IKEA boxes are 13 inches by 13 inches by 15 inches deep. So we've got that. Now let's talk about important dimensions. So we have a door. We have a door back here on the back of the van, and that door is going to have us, stop putting boxes in here. We're going to run out of room. So try to find out where that is. Find out how many boxes you want up here, as much as you can put of that whatever design you have, and then find out where your stopping point is, because you're going to need some wiggle room back here to be able to shut the door and not have it, get in the way. Yeah. Now take that, and now we want to start making the van, look like we built it on purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these lines right here, and we want to, or this is just my opinion, so we want to have these lines come out into our other side where our kitchen galley is. And it makes things feel nice and uniform. This kitchen galley is not going way out here. It's not cut off and short over here. We have these nice clean lines with the seats. So when we come in the van, we come over here, you know, everything is nice and it just looks professional. Okay. So this is our refrigerator and our jump seat over here for this particular proposal. And so that's fixed. That's exactly where we want it. Can't move it. We'll pull this line down here. That's our bed. That's exactly where we want it. We can't move it. We come over here, and this is just a visual to show us where our 15-inch depth of our IKEA boxes are coming out. Just so you know that, you know, if the person is sleeping over here, another person's over here, that they're aware that, you know, that's up there, which might be fine. Because on the back, on this drawing back here, we have 16.5 inches of room to sleep underneath this, if you had to. I mean, if you had to really get under it. 16.5 inches is very comfortable. You just have to be cognizant when you wake up that this is here. But there's always a give and take. If you don't want something like this, like a hard shelf, I like the hard shelves because you can make them structural to where they can hold a lot of weight, so you can put some heavy items up here. Whereas, you know, soft bags, you know, they may droop or do that sort of thing. So let's come back over here. And since this is now fixed, we're kind of completing the layout. We'll look at our driver's seat. You know, can't do anything about that. That's fixed. We've got our passenger seat fixed. So we'll come over to our kitchen galley and we'll see where do we want this kitchen galley. And there's two numbers that are very important. One is, you know, what is your minimum entrance width that you will be okay with? If you can really push this to the limits, I think it's a very, it's a great way to really get more room inside the van. Most of these are either minimum of 24 and greater, you know, maybe 24 or 30 inches. And that really cuts into the space that you wouldn't have right here. So your sink would be very small. You'd have a very small area. Trying to keep this nice and open. So in my opinion, if you can keep this small, in a perfect world, I wouldn't go less than 20 inches. In this particular example, I got really specific, and we're taking the dimensions, we're taking this as our kind of end point. Because I want this line, this visual line, to come through the van, because it's going to make this area look nice and uniform and open. If this came in here, it's going to be way too tight. The opposite is, if we ended the kitchen galley here, the van's going to be nice and open, but we're sacrificing space that is not necessary. So we're going to make sure that this stays, we can do so this is a Ford Transit 148 high roof, not extended. So I guess that was probably the most important thing to say. I need to put that at the beginning of the video. So that's what we're working with, Transit. High roof. And this is not extended. It's not extended. So if you're working with that, you're going to have 72 inches for your bed. You're going to have a maximum of 41 inches for your kitchen galley, and then 20 inches for your entrance, if the kitchen galley is on this side. Now, we got one more thing to talk about, and I'll be open for questions. So what we want to talk about here is, this is going to give us a 41-inch kitchen galley, which will give us 20 inches to come in. And we're going to do a Ravati sink. So that's a dimension that we know from the manufacturer. So we know that this is 15 inches wide, 20 inches long. And before we decide how big our kitchen galley can be or how wide it can be, we have one critical measurement that is extremely important. So I'm going to use orange for that. And that is the door for the refrigerator. We have to make sure that the refrigerator can open. Now the refrigerator is in here, and it has a minimum, if this thing is pushed all the way back to the van, there's a position where this has to be. And then this will be as far back as you can push it this way. So we found out what that is, which is 24 inches, the face. So this face right here is 24 inches away from the wall of the van. That's as far back as you can go with the Isotherm Cruise 130 and a Ford Transit, because there's this supporting member right here that you can't get past. So we got 24. We've measured our door opening. It's 19.5 inches. So whatever's left right here, that's the maximum depth of your kitchen galley. And so you can kind of see how all these measurements start to stack on one another to see if you're actually able to put in what you want in your van. So this question mark, we found out that it needs to be, we're going to do 21 inches. And this will allow us to have a ½ inch gap here, and then we have a ½ inch, I say gap, we got a ½ inch in front of the sink and a ½ inch behind the sink. And that's as shallow as we can go where it doesn't look weird. So now that we've done that, that's pretty much it. So that is the way you can look at, let me get back to my face here. There we go. So that's a way that you can take a piece of grid paper, you can lay out all your dimensions of your van, and you can try to figure out how you're going to take all the stuff that you want, all the appliances you want, your gear, appliances, clothes, all that, and fit it in the spaces that you think you are going to be able to fit. Because it's actually easier the more products you pick out. So if you know what your microwave is, your fridge, your sink, your portable toilet, if you know those things, the more hard dimensions that you have, your bed size, you want to sleep north and west, or east and west, or north and south, when you get those measurements, you can put them into the drawing like I did over here, and you can really find out what's going to work for you, or what's going to fit and what's not going to fit. So yeah, let me know if you guys that are watching, if you guys have any questions. Yeah, I just wanted to walk through this while it was fresh in my mind. It can get kind of overwhelming when you start to work on your van, because once you start making commitments and you're cutting pieces of wood, you're doing stuff to your material that you can't undo. You might get ahead of yourself. So driver's seat, and then you go back and you forget that you forget how it's actually going to end up looking. And that's one thing I forgot to tell you on here. So let's use this orange pen. If you notice right here, I've got an even 3 inches border around these boxes. So this right here around the boxes is 3 inches. And this is where the aesthetics come into play. So this is sizing it up to let us know how this is going to look when we're actually finishing this part. Now those 3 inches here from top and bottom, they're going to take away from this sleeping height. So just be aware about making stuff look good. It might change stuff in another area. But to make it look good, we stretch it across where the microwave is. And we're pretty much doing what they call picture framing. So we're picture framing this whole, kitchen galley setup. And we're doing that so that everything looks very professional and that we actually had a planned approach to this layout. See if there's anything else I wanted to talk about on this. Yeah, that is pretty much it. So I'm going to talk about a couple more things here as we're ending the live stream. First thing I want to show you guys over here on the computer is the DIY van build cheat sheet. If you're not familiar with the DIY van build cheat sheet, it's a curated Excel sheet that I put together over the last 3 years of all my Amazon purchases, stuff that I use in the shop, tools, all kinds of things. So here's a look at it. We've got storage equipment, electrical, a lot of Renogy, Blue Sea systems, some Victron components, some touch switches with stepless dimming, which is really cool. We've got fasteners. This is a lot of stuff that I use when I do use 80/20 in the van. HVAC, max fan, S-bar brackets, heaters. Breva Shelf has some cool things where these are pull-out kitchen organizers. We've got roofing, solar panels. The most important thing on here, I believe, is the tools. So every single tool on this list I use in the shop to build vans every day. And we actually have a blog post that's coming soon talking about these tools and why they're important. But for now, you can download this list. It's completely free. You just come here, put your name in, email address, it goes straight to your inbox, and it'll definitely help you out with looking at products. There's stuff that I've bought and I've looked at it. It's stuff that I've used, so I think it'll really help you out. Just go to vanbuilderhq.com. Put your name and email address, click download, it'll come straight to your inbox. You can also click the link in the description below to get to this page as well. And then last but not least, let's talk about my van building company, Odyssey Custom Vans. So the van behind me is the one that I'm wrapping up on, and we actually took it to Adventure Van Expo in Chattanooga, Tennessee to show it off. We did a quick walk around video. If you guys want to watch that on our YouTube channel, Van Builder HQ. We walked through the outside and inside, showed you guys the interior system from Adventure Wagon. A lot of Flatline Vanco components are in this build. A lot of bamboo, powder coated aluminum, robust power system, as well as 420 watts of solar up on the roof with the Dometic RTX 2000 AC unit, as well as a Webasto Airtop 40 gasoline heater. So it's actually directly connected to the auxiliary port of the Ford Transit's gasoline tank itself. Down here in the bottom, we've got all the details, the vehicle base, the off-grid power system that we developed for it, the interior system, the kitchen galley, a couple of safety items. But if you guys are interested in this van, take a look at all the photos. So this is the photos for the meantime until I'm finished making the complete walkthrough video of this build. But you can kind of comb through these, check it out. If you guys are interested in purchasing this van, you can contact me at sales@odysseycustomvans.com. That is also my contact phone number. The easiest way to connect with me is click on this button right here where it says click here to schedule a call. It's going to bring you up to a calendar link, and you can go select a day that you're available. You can even select the time that works best for you. It's going to pop up on my calendar. It's the easiest way and best way to get in touch with me. If you are looking to get a personal van build done, this is the best way. There's some instructions over here on the left, stuff to get ready for before the call. But if you are interested in the van that I just showed you, use that link, schedule a call with me, and I'll be happy to tell you more about the van. All right, guys, well, that is going to do it for our live stream tonight. I hope this video helps you out with planning how to get the stuff that you want in your van, all your gear, your appliances, kind of an approach to help you do your layout of your van so you can kind of really get the van that you want and the stuff that you want in it. If you have any questions related to that, you can always put those in the comments section below. I'd be happy to read those. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and then share this video to anyone who needs help with organizing their van, doing a van layout or van floor plan. I think it'll really help them out. And until next time, we'll see you guys on the next live stream.